I think those are not.
Yeah. Fuck.
Okay, it is 7:01, and I am calling this February 17, 2026 Downers Grove Township Public Hearing to order. Would everyone please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Supervisor Savage,
Present.
Trustee Soul, Trustee Frio,
Present.
Trustee Zerba,
Present.
Trustee Moreno.
Present.
We have a quorum. All right, this is the public hearing for the Downers Grove Township Road District Appropriations Ordinance number 26-27. Is there a motion to waive the quick reading of the public notice? We need a...
So moved.
Okay, Michelle Moreno moves and Carol Soul seconded. Can we have a roll call, please?
Supervisor Savage,
Yes?
Trustee Soul,
Yes.
Trustee Frio,
Yes.
Trustee Moreno,
Yes.
Trustee Zerba.
Yes.
Okay, is there any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, will you please take the, oh, the motion passed. Okay, the motion passed. You're right. I'm just reading this. All right, we would like to hear from the Highway Commissioner about the budget, and I can plop your budget up here on the screen if you would like.
Well, thank you, Kim. I have a quick summary. I think if I went line item by line item, I might put a few people to sleep early today. So I'll track it down to a quick summary that I've put together for everybody here today. So thank you for everyone joining. There's so many people here. However, people do watch YouTube and follow us. So I hope that everyone reviews the budget. The proposed budget for the Downers Grove Township District reflects continuity and responsible stewardship. The overall levy remains consistent with the prior years, with adjustments primarily related to standard cost increases. Our focus remains maintaining roads, drainage, and infrastructure efficiency and responsibility for the residents that we serve. As Highway Commissioner, my statutory responsibility is the construction, maintenance, and repair of township roads, bridges, and drainage systems. The budget supports those core obligations while positioning the department for long-term operational stability. There are three main areas I'd like to briefly highlight tonight. First and foremost is employee development and safety. We are increasing the frequency and scope of training to reflect current equipment, evolving safety standards, and best practices in public works management. Expanding certifications across the teams improves operational continuity, enhances safety, and ensures that we can respond effectively in all conditions, including winter operations and emergency responses. Second item I'd like to highlight, modernization of our storm water records. We are initiating geographic information systems mapping out our storm drains and related infrastructure. This modernization effort will improve planning accuracy, streamline responses to Julie locates and emergency calls, and strengthen long-term asset management. Better data allows us to reduce inefficiencies and make for informed maintenance decisions that protect public infrastructure and taxpayer resources. Third, capital equipment and replacement. Like many public agencies, we manage an aging equipment that must be replaced on a responsible cycle. This budget includes investments in updated equipment to support safe and efficient tree maintenance and roadway operations. Maintaining reliable equipment reduces service delays and improves overall responsiveness to our residents. Throughout all of this, our primary priority remains clear: maintain roads, drainage, infrastructure safety, efficiency, and within the authority and resources provided to this office. We will continue to evaluate operations carefully, invest where it improves long-term value, and ensure the taxpayer dollars are used prudently. Thanks. Any questions?
Yes, are there any, is there any public testimony for the budget? All right, hearing none, trustee discussion. Is there any question for the highway commissioner? We did have a nice chance to discuss all this at the budget workshop that we held in January. And I think he did a great job of presenting all of that at that time.
And one thing I just want to mention too, as you notice, we have investments into our stormwater and GIS, which lets us know positioning of all our stormwater, but also investment in our employees so they know how to use the equipment and are able to be effective when they're called by Julie or when they need to go out and locate something. So, and thirdly as well, I quickly mention that it's also starting to become required by DuPage County that this gets all mapped out. So heaven forbid an accident happens and something gets spilled into the storm drain, we need to know direction and flow so that we can properly block that storm drain from going on to the Des Plaines River or potentially polluting anywhere else. So we want to make sure that we have that all documented, and if we get this done, we'll be one of the first townships to do so.
Thank you. All right, no questions for the highway commissioner? All right, hearing none, may I have a motion to adopt the Township Road District Budget and Appropriation Ordinance 2627 for fiscal year March 1st, 2026 to February 28th to 2027. Is there a motion?
I will move to adopt the budget for the road district as presented.
Okay, is there a second?
Second?
Creel seconded. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Supervisor Savage,
Yes.
trustee Soul,
Yes.
trustee Friel,
Yes.
trustee Zerba,
Yes.
trustee Moreno.
Yes. The motion has passed.
Point of order, is it okay that we're going on order on the agenda?
I thought it was exactly with the agenda.
The votes
Yeah.
are down and new business.
When you vote,
The motions are on.
yeah, they're still there. Yeah. This is just for the public hearing, approving what's going on. So if you look, well, you haven't seen the script, but that is motion A, B, C, D are there in the script. They're going to be approving in part
I
of
just
the.
wanted to make sure.
Thank you
Good
for
question.
asking. All right, at this time, I will close the hearing for the road district. And now I would call the meeting to order for the public hearing for the general fund budget and appropriations ordinance number 2526, Township General Fund, IMRF, and General Assistance. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Supervisor Savage,
Here.
trustee Soul,
Present.
trustee Friel,
Here.
trustee Moreno, here, trustee Zerba,
Present.
There is a quorum. Oh, okay. Are there any changes to the minutes presented to the January 10th, 2026 special meeting? Hearing none, the minutes are approved.
January 12th.
January 12th.
After the special.
did we skip the public hearing for the general?
Okay. Is there a motion to waive the clerk reading of the public notice?
So moved. Second.
Moved, and Kevin Zerba seconded. Madam Clerk, could you please take a roll call?
Yes. Supervisor Savage,
Yes?
trustee Sol,
Yes.
trustee Friedel,
Yes.
trustee Moreno,
Yes.
trustee Zerba.
Yes.
All right. I will go into a very brief discussion of our budget, because we did discuss it as trustees at our special meeting. We have the budget ordinance, and in the town fund, we have $44,200,000 cash on hand from the previous fiscal year. That's what we expect to have. For the estimated revenues for the general fund, we have $3,351,056. So the estimated total revenues available, counting our reserves, which is the cash on hand, is $7.3 million. Budget expenditures for the town budget are, for the supervisor's area, $1,447,555. For the assessor's office, it is $719,989. And for human services, it is $340,910. For a total of that's human services, for $3,768,464. And so our ending balance in February 27 should be about $3.8 million. That is for the town budget. And from the administration, you can see for the past few years, the budget has increased a little bit. This year's budget is increasing about 5%, partly because we are moving some money from the town fund to the general assistance fund, because there was a projected budget shortfall in the general assistance fund due to some accounting budgeting error in the last fiscal year. So we did make it through the fiscal year without running out of funds, but we would not have enough funds to make it to when the tax levy comes in. So that's, therefore, in the budget, you will see that we are transferring money from the general fund to the general assistance fund. In the assessor's area, again, he had budgeted a 3% increase, and his increase is in line with what we have increased our total budget on, and we'll let him talk about that in a minute. And in human services, again, we have a slight increase over the next year. So that is pretty much it for the general fund. The town center, again, we have a slight increase. I think this is a little bit more than 3%, but overall, our increase in the general fund is 3.3%. Mr. Assessor, would you like to discuss some of your budget items?
If anybody has any questions, the overall increase from 25, 26 to 26, 27 is about $53,000, and budget to budget. And the main things we're looking at there, we worked hard to try to keep the personnel costs is relatively flat, only about $4,600. We've got some stuff for professional fees because we're going to have some increased costs for some consulting work that we're going to need to have done during the upcoming year. That's the lion's share of it, about 60% of it. And then we've got just some basic costs that we have for other different training, because we're going to have extensive staff turnover. But I think we went through it with the opportunity to have the Saturday session. We were able to go through things in detail. So unless there's any questions from the trustees, or we go through there, or questions from the audience, I'm good.
Any questions from the trustees on that? Then as far as the general assistance fund goes, we expect to have a little over $4,000 cash on hand at the end of the fiscal year. We expect estimated revenues at $274,000, which would include property tax, and a $100,000 transfer from the general fund for a total estimated funds available of $278,367. Budgeted expenditures for the year would be $209,840 with an estimated ending balance as of February 2027 of $68,527. Any questions on the general assistance? Okay. The IMRF is pretty straightforward. We have a beginning balance of $280,000, estimated revenues of $18,000, for a total of $298,000. Our budgeted expenditures are $229,500 with an ending balance of $268,500. And then capital budget, we have a balance beginning March 1st of $425,000. We expect to transfer $50,000 from the general fund and have interest of $12,000 for a total of $62,000. The estimated total funds available at the end of, or total estimated funds available $487,000. We expect to spend about $135,000 of that on projects for this year, and then ending balance of $352,000, so that we may be in position to do some additional projects in the coming years. So that summarizes all of the budget items that I have. Is there any public testimony? Hearing none, is there any trustee discussion? Hearing none, I would like to close the hearing for the general fund. All right.
Time for a short bathroom break. Could you turn on the camera to a short bathroom break before we do the?
Sure, we can take a short break. Thank you.
Any motion?
Because
Should go.
I am calling the meeting of February 17, 2026, Downers Grove Township Board to order. May I have roll call, please?
Supervisor Savage,
Present.
Trustee Sol,
Present.
Trustee Zerba,
President.
Trustee Moreno. Present. Trustee Brio.
President.
All right, at this time, we will have public comments. Residents will have an opportunity to speak during public comment. Comments are directed to the supervisor. We ask comments to be kept to 3 minutes and address Downers Grove Township issues. Please refrain from profanity or personal attacks directed at individuals and be respectful of all residents. We remind you that public comment is not a Q&A session. Thank you. Seeing that we have no public comments, we will approve the minutes. Are there any changes to the minutes of the January 12th Township meeting? Hearing none. The motion, the minutes are approved. All right. Is there a motion to approve the Downers Grove Township trustee audit and approval of bills and claims as presented?
So moved.
What?
The minutes for the special meeting.
We did that during,
During the hearings,
Oh,
we went out.
I missed it. All right, sorry.
is that okay? Okay.
Sorry.
All right, who made the motion? Michelle?
I second.
And Kevin seconded. Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Yes. Supervisor Savage,
Yes.
Trustee Soul,
Yes.
Trustee Friel,
Yes.
Trustee Moreno,
Yes.
Trustee Zerba.
Yes.
All right, the motion has passed. It's now time for the supervisor's report. First of all, I would like to wish everybody Happy Lunar New Year, Happy Chinese New Year, Ramadan Mubarak, and Happy Fat Tuesday, Punchki Day. Tonight, we will be approving the general fund budget and the road district budget. We have worked hard to keep costs in line. At our last meeting, we approved a resolution to transfer funds from the general fund to the general assistance fund for the 2026-27 budget to correct a budgeting error from 2025-26. We have finally received the audit for FY 2025. The final copy appeared on my desk Friday, so it was not included in the agenda. No action is required, but I have distributed copies to each of the trustees, and if we would like to discuss it, we can put it on the agenda for next month. And actually, since there's no action, we can discuss it under new business, but I don't think anybody's had time to look at it yet. The terms of 2 members of the Senior Advisory Committee expire in March, so Resolution 2026-0217-1 names their replacements. We are grateful for the contributions of the members who have contributed to the senior programs and look forward to working with new members. In Illinois, townships may do line item transfers up to 10% of the budget until the last day of the fiscal year without amending the budget through scheduling a new budget hearing. Budget adjustments were required for several line items in the general fund due to shortfalls for those items. In the packet, Resolution 2026-0217-2 documents those line item transfers. And Resolution 2026-0217-3 requests authorization to enter into a contract for redesign of the website. The Department of Justice requires that websites are ADA compliant. State law requires them to be compliant by April 24th of this year. In addition to achieving compliance, the website will become more user-friendly. And then for this evening's check audit, you may have noticed a payment of $10,230.68 to Kane and Weiner. This payment was in collections on behalf of Emeron Incorporated for payment due originally in January 2024 for the balance due on the contract. That was terminated by the township at that time. Initially, it appeared that the township had issued a final payment. However, in further research by our attorney, it was evident that the township ended the contract, but its funds were still due. So Kane and Weiner was requesting $13,640.90, but agreed to settle for 75% of that amount. That is the $10,230. Senior programs remain strong. The 1,500 people have attended programs so far this year, and you do have January numbers in your packet, but we are getting well over 200 people per week. We had a very successful Valentine's Day social with the Downers Grove Park District, and once again, we had elected officials from DuPage County and the Forest Preserve District assist in serving food along with some of the trustees and Clerk Rautenbush. We are working with local partners to expand senior programming off-site. The Mental Health Advisory Committee continues to meet monthly and is doing research on local organizations and agencies that are working within our communities. In February, we had a presentation on the Village of Downers Grove's Blue Envelope Program. This program serves people with cognitive disabilities by providing a mechanism for them to better communicate with police officers during a traffic stop. The envelopes contain the driver's license and other pertinent information about the driver, such as the nature of their disability, so the officer can have a more positive interaction. Chair Corin Hammond and I attended the quarterly DuPage County Mental Health Learning Collaborative, which includes all of the township supervisors and all of the mental health board chairs. Even though we're not a mental health board at this time. The Youth Services Advisory Committee is planning to have a meet and greet for their February meeting at another round. They are reaching out to schools and other organizations that work with youth to start the conversation about gaps in programming that are appropriate for the township to partner with. The first Veterans Rally Point was held on January 16th. They are scheduled on the third Friday of the month, starting at 9 a.m. They are organized by DuPage County Veteran Services and Hines VA. The goal is to bring together services at one location so veterans can find the resources they need. Starting this month, the program will begin with a coffee social hour at 9 a.m. And even though I was gone for 2 weeks, these are some of the meetings that I attended. 2 Chamber Women and Business meetings, Senior Advisory Committee Board, Senior Advisory Committee, the Willowbrook Burridge Chamber Lunch, the Downers Grove Fairview TIF District meeting, our Township Building and Grounds Work Group, Just Us Seniors, the Mental Health Advisory Committee, the SEED Coalition, which is formerly Unincorporated Willowbrook Coalition, and SEED stands for Support, Empower, something, and Develop. And then I met with Steve Leopoldo from Margin of Error, who we engaged at our last meeting on a status update for the communications framework. He has completed phase 1, which is an audit of all of our communication channels, and he will be beginning phase 2 this week. So, any questions from the trustees? I can still wait. Okay, moving on. Assessor report.
Well, we continue to work to fill position, open position. We've been doing interviewing. We did have a net regali came in and it was started as our commercial, one of our commercial positions filled. So we're fully staffed on the commercial side, so that's good. We'll continue to work on that in the upcoming months. We've got interviews this week, second round of interviews, so hopefully we'll be able to select some people to actually starting, then we'll do the next month or so. And that's pretty much where we're at. We're in the middle of, we're already starting to prepare for the next closing, which will come later on this year.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Moles? All right, Highway Commissioner report. Anything to add besides the budget stuff?
Oh, we always have stuff to add, Kim. So February weekly report. This month, the township was extremely busy with all our snowstorms. We had a lot over Sunday, over Saturday, a couple weeks. Our employees were extremely tired, so brought as much coffee as we could for them to keep them awake, especially those weekends where we had a lot of snow that kept on coming out there. Another item here, we received our beet juice tanks that we are currently putting on trucks. I know it's a little later in the season. We had hoped to get them in earlier, but equipment that I've learned as a highway commissioner takes a long time. As an example, there are trucks that we received back in March that we are waiting to have snow plows put on. And it's been almost a year. Next month will be a year and they're still not done. So something I've learned as the highway commissioner, it just takes forever to get equipment. So hopefully we'll get them end of March for 2 one-ton Ford F-350s. So. In addition, our team has been out this week with all this warm weather doing maintenance with regards to cleaning out storm drains. There's a possibility of rain coming here next couple of days. And one of the most common phone calls that I receive is that there's flooding in the streets, flooding in people's yards. So what I brought in is a proactive maintenance program where if we know a big storm's coming, we'll go out there and hit certain areas that are prone to flooding. So try to be as proactive. And we've seen I think anywhere between 10 and 15 phone calls or less after a storm that we have before. So I think being proactive is really, really good. What else do we have here? Lastly, Downers Grove Highway Department, we will be giving away 3 rides on a snowplow truck. El Sierra Elementary School has a fundraiser next month, and thinking on how we can be a part of it and cost effective, I came to the idea that we're going to give 3 students a ride in a snowplow from their house to the school. So there are different raffles at the event. It's held at the Moose Lodge in Downers Grove. So some stores donate wine, some maybe massages. I figured that the township can donate 3 rides for students their date of choosing from their house to the school. So I think that's a really neat prize. And they can take any pictures and pull the horn to make it known that they're coming to school. So really excited to be able to be part of the community with our little ones here. Next item here, Downers Grove Township Highway Department joined the Downers Township and got certified in CPR. This is something we haven't done in many, many years. Really proud that every one of our employees is now certified. If we ever have an accident or something happens out in the field, we know what to do. In addition, we were certified in how to use the AED units. There's one right behind Rick as well. So I got certified myself, so in case anything happens, I know the process and procedures to use that. So as I mentioned in my budget report earlier, training and development is very key for my employees. I also attended the Willowbrook Burridge Chamber of Commerce along with Kim, made some really decent contacts. Meeting for lunch next week with the owner of Sawmill Creek Sports Facility. So there are actually 3 doctors that came together to develop that area. So it's good to build on that network because a lot of times we'll get some comments or concerns from residents, and having a good relationship with them is important to address any problems or concerns from our residents before they escalate. So really looking forward to meeting them in person. And that is all I have for the month of February. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Yes, Carol?
Did you do CPR or CPR and first aid?
CPR, so we still need to do first aid, very good point. We have not done first aid, so that is the next one we want to do in the next couple months. So we were really fortunate that the township actually did the heavy lifting and coordinating it. Special thanks to Maria for doing that. So we just managed to just join in. I'm not sure, are you doing a first aid one too, or no? Or we can work on arranging one if you're...
I don't know that we have first aid.
Okay, so that's something that I will look into. Same company, they do offer first aid, and bring that up. And for our team that's out in the field, day and night, hot and cold, it's important to have that training. So we'll definitely look into it, and of course invite the township if they're interested. And that is my report for the month of February 2026.
Any questions? More questions? All right, is there a clerk's report?
Sure. Okay, so basically, we are still working on preparing for the annual town meeting, which is April 14th. The last day for the public to submit agenda items, again, is April 1st. Kate Bartlett, our deputy clerk, and I will be attending the Township Officials of Illinois annual town meeting training which is the day after our agenda has to be posted. But we will get all of the information we need, and then I just hope that training only enhances our knowledge for when we actually are holding the annual town meeting. At this point, we are still looking at checks, but we don't have confirmation from them yet as to whether or not we can do it there again, but that's what we're working on right now. I will not be here for the March meeting. I will be out of town, so I'm trying to get everything done that we possibly can ahead of time so that when I get back, we're just ready to go with the annual town meeting.
Okay, and the deadline for agenda items for the annual town meeting is what?
April 1st.
March 1st?
I'm sorry, March 1st. Thank you, I misspoke. March 1st, right around the corner. And that is before I leave for out of town so that we can finalize that agenda and make sure it's posted on time. Thank you for correcting me there.
Any questions for the clerk?
One quick question, is the agenda normally just a standard agenda every year, or is there like things added or subtracted to the agenda?
Yes.
What, I'm sorry.
Are there additional items that are added or changed from year to year, have you seen, or is it pretty much the Highway Township?
The agendas look pretty much the
Okay.
same year to year. I don't think there have been too many recent additions from the public. You need 15 people to petition to have something put on the agenda, so they all have to submit it signed by March 1st, thank you. And then we'll be finalizing it at that point, but yeah, it doesn't seem to vary. Greg, can you remember years where the annual town meeting had, the last time it had additional public agenda items?
It's been a while ago.
It's been a while.
Yeah. So I've been just looking at the recent years, but,
And there didn't used to be a deadline.
and I haven't heard
There was
any
There was always-
from
They
anyone
just didn't
yet
announce it.
Okay.
about it.
I was actually at the Gulfview Association meeting a few residents today, and they were asking about the annual town hall, if they should go, and I said, absolutely, they should go and get engaged in it.
Okay, is there any old business? Hearing none, we will move on to new business. Is there a motion to adopt the general fund budget and ordinance appropriation 26-27 for fiscal year March 1st, 2026 to February 28th, 2027? Carol, so
Make a motion to
moved.
that effect.
Is there a second? Kevin Zerba seconds. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it, motion passes. Is there a motion to adopt the Downers Grove Township Road District Appropriation Ordinance number 2627 for fiscal year March 1st, 2026 to February 28th, 2027?
So moved.
Michelle Moreno moves and Kevin Zerba seconds. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion has passed. Is there a motion for a resolution appointing members to the Senior Advisory Committee?
So moved.
Rick Friel moves, and is there a second?
Second.
Kevin Zerba seconds. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Is there a motion for a resolution authorizing budget line item transfers?
So moved.
Kevin Zerba moves.
Second.
Michelle Moreno seconds. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes. Is there a motion for a resolution adopting authorizing a professional services agreement for the redesign of the Downers Grove Township website? Carol so moves and Rick Friel seconds. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. All right, now we are at trustee comments and discussion. Do any trustees have some comments and discussion? Everybody want to go home and eat your last treats before you start yet? Okay, hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Michelle Marino moves.
Second.
Rick Friel seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We are adjourned.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.